Okay, guys, and we're back with another episode of the Seth Solo Side Quest. I'm Seth from the Lonely Stoner podcast. In this video, we're going to be talking about Caleb Plant making his return to boxing after about 8 months off. I think he last fought October, September, November time of last year against a guy called Macumbi, who he beat up pretty good. Macumbi did do some good work early on in that fight, but Caleb Plant was overall a far better boxer. But Caleb Plant's fighting again. He's defending his, I believe, WBA interim championship. Yeah, his WBA super middleweight interim championship against Jose Armando Resindiz. Now looking at Resindiz, he's lost twice before. Both guys are guys we've never heard of. One of them was unbeaten, but the other guy wasn't unbeaten. Lost to those two guys before. And me knowing Caleb Plant and not knowing this other guy and knowing the way Caleb Plant fights and knowing that he's a very difficult opponent for the majority of boxers, I'm going to have to go with Caleb Plant with this. Off rip, early doors breakdown, right? So if you're going to put your money on anyone in this fight, I would say put your money on Caleb Plant. Obviously, at your own risk, because I don't need guys commenting saying I lost money on this because of you. If I'm not betting on this fight, I may end up betting on this fight, but if I do, my money will be putting on Caleb Plant. Now, Caleb Plant, for those of you who are, fans of the channel that have seen some of my previous boxing videos about these middleweight and super middleweight divisions, you'll know that Caleb Plant is one of my favourite boxers, right? Caleb Plant, this style of boxing it really resonates with me. It's a style that I really enjoy watching, and thus Caleb Plant being one of my favourite super middleweights/middleweights at this time. Now, Caleb Plant has got 2 losses in his career. He's got 1 loss against Canelo and then another against David Benavidez. Both guys who are absolutely world-class at super middleweight. Guys who are, Canelo's 2-time undisputed at super middleweight, and David Benavidez is a former world champion at super middleweight too. So again, in my eyes, no shame in losing to those guys at all. But Caleb Plant's got some really impressive wins on his career. Most notably, the Anthony Dirrell win, which was Anthony Dirrell at the time was still very much regarded as one of the top guys in the division, and for Caleb to go out there and bang him out the way he did, stopped him, sent Anthony Dirrell to the shadow realm, right? Guys don't do that. Guys don't really do that to Anthony Dirrell at that time particularly as well. That was a 9th round knockout. That was a bad knockout for Anthony Dirrell. Like, a really bad knockout in my opinion. Of course, early on in his career, Caleb Truax's a decent win. I mean, obviously, he's not beat a ton of world level guys. That would be one criticism of Caleb Plant. His only world level wins was, you could arguably say, Caleb Truax, who isn't really world level, he's more fringe world level. But if you're reaching, you say Caleb Truax and Anthony Dirrell. That's who you'd say. And the other guys who he faced that were world class was Alvarez and Benavidez. And he lost to those guys. So I understand the potential criticism one would have about Caleb Plant here, but like I said, Caleb Plant's style just stands way out for me, and is the reason, in my opinion, why he's one of my favourites, because of that style. It's a distinct style. It feels like a lot of boxers now are very run-of-the-mill in a lot of sense. At world level, not really, but at the lower levels, it does sort of feel a lot of boxers box the same way. And one thing you can say about Caleb Plant is he's got a definitive style of boxing, which is more than I can say for a lot of other boxers, even at the top level, But yeah, Caleb Plant is back. I think he's looking at a fight next with one of the Charlos. We'll see, because I don't know which Charlo he's fighting, which one he wants to fight. I know he slapped one of them. I know one of them got their heart taken by Canelo, but I don't know who wants to fight who, right? I got no idea. But yeah, Caleb Plant's back, coming off a TKO win over Trevor Macumbi. He's fighting a guy called Resindiz, and I imagine he'll beat him. That's who I'm putting my money on. But yeah, another episode of the Seth Solo Side Quest in the bag, and let me know if you think Caleb Plant will win this fight, and if he does win this fight, who do you want Caleb Plant to fight next? Another episode of the Seth Solo Side Quest in the bag, and I'm out. Peace.